Okay, we started recording. This is the agenda that I put together. I started with the first thing on here, which is Patrick was able to make some contact with the fireworks people and connected that there are two in town. There are two in the area, I should say. One gave a response back with some more details and needed more questions answers, but this is more just an FYI. I think if we can move this process along and fireworks are decided to be a part, somebody can take this information and get more details directly from these two providers. I know Zabelli is the one that responded back. There hasn't been any real decision as far as I know about whether fireworks should be included. It was just suggested that fireworks be included. I think the closest we got was, yeah, we should have fireworks depending on price. But the impression I get is you're not going to do a firework display for less than 5 or 10 grand.
And then our worry is that we have fog and all you see is pink haze in the sky.
And you still pay the 10 grand.
Yes, we've done that several years.
Well, so we did the recording. Maybe we should do a quick round of introductions of who's who and if you're representing a particular organization. Take your time, whoever wants to go first.
Shirley Boyston, representing the Historical Society and the Friends of the Library.
Alma Hernandez, representing County of Santa Barbara, Supervisor Joan Hartman.
Alan Diaz with the Community Environmental Council.
And this is Charlie Guzman. I'm with the City of Guadalupe.
Tom Brandenburg, I'm with Los Amigos de Guadalupe.
Sonia Rios Ventura with the Los Amigos de Guadalupe.
Jose Nichols representing Comité Cívico Mexicano de Guadalupe.
Oh, hi, Jose.
Hello.
Jose, you look like you're looking up at her. That was funny.
Okay. I probably need to just.
Hi.
No, you go.
Christina from the Dune Center, also representing the Lions and the Comité as well.
Cool.
Liliana.
Oh, sorry.
No, Liliana, I'm on the City Council and also with the Guadalupe Lions.
Okay. So I'm I've just created this list and happy to host the meetings, but we're still kind of not in a place where we and if anybody wants to change this agenda or put something up further up in the agenda more important, please let me know. Up to now, if I can summarize, I think I probably can summarize it. Up to now, there has been I think the consensus is that we should have a parade and festival, that the parade and festival should be in the downtown area, that it should be held on Sunday. I'm trying to remember what Sunday that was. What was the date? The 8th, I think?
August 8th.
Yeah, so that the event would be held on August the 8th, sometime starting around 2 o'clock, with that being varied depending on the end time. For example, if there was fireworks, that would make it go on. The fireworks would be the end of the event, so you may start the one earlier, but the thought was somewhere around 2 o'clock would be the start time. Am I missing anything other than those
Tom, there's some concern about the parade. It takes forever to get the okay from Caltrans, and it really, the permit should really be started now. But you need to have an organization that is going to support the petition for the parade route.
I understand, and maybe Jose, you could say a little bit more, but I understand Jose with Comitar and Garrett with the Guadalupe Business Association was going to have this conversation.
Yeah, I recently, just today, I sent out an email saying that more than we the committee would pay for the fee, and I stated in my email that however I'm going to be at a Alliance State Convention in Reno for all of next week, so I really can't get to it until week after next.
You have experience in that, Jose. Is that enough time?
I think we can do it. I think there's enough time we could do it.
Okay. We don't have specific locations for either the parade or the festival. So one of the things that I've put on here, which is again just my notes to maybe get the thinking going, but my thought is that maybe to move this along is to create committees and get people working on individual committees, and then the committees can meet in between these meetings, and then these meetings can be everybody reporting back on where they are in the process. Does anybody have any thoughts about whether we should do this, have committees, or do we have other ideas?
Committees are fine with me. But whatever everybody else thinks works well.
My general thought is you can't really get all the nuts and bolts done in a 1 hour Zoom meeting once a week.
Yeah, I think committees will work, and then like you say, come together to report out every so often or whatever, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever.
Yeah, this is Charlie. I agree with that. Once we sort out exactly what we want to do for the celebration, then to have separate committees, ad hoc committees that would combine into one eventual meeting where we would report everything and put it together. I think that sounds like a great idea.
Oh, okay. Any other thoughts? What about the breakdown that I did? Festival committee, ad hoc, an ad hoc parade committee, and an ad hoc promotional committee. You think it should be broke down even further?
I think those three are pretty comprehensive. This is just a kind of out there suggestion, but would it be nice to have kind of a designated committee, or probably even under festival, that's specifically looking at community resources? I know obviously that would be good to have within the actual festival, but I know that it can take a lot of time and coordination to find those opportunities. But I think that this anniversary festival would be a great resource for, you know, continued vaccination and continued like food access. And I know that those would probably fall under booths, but do take kind of dedicated time. So if there was some sort of community resource committee that was focused on that, or, you know, could help out the festival committee, that I think would be strong.
I kind of put that, Alan, I kind of put that under community outreach, under promotion to get the word out and get these sorts of things included, but maybe that's too much for promotion. You know, maybe that should be almost a separate one where we, I don't know.
I agree, Tom.
You leave it in promotions as a kind of community outreach, make sure all of our opportunities are there, like vaccination.
I mean,
I'm mixed.
I liked your idea of kind of having it a separate one, but I think it does fall under a lot of them. So I think it would, it's just really to support people who will have booths or people who will do the community outreach. But again, I feel like these are such important topics that we don't necessarily, I know that we'll have plenty of other things to talk about in those meetings that, structurally need to happen. And so, yeah, but I understand that they kind of co-mix.
It might, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think they do co-mix. I think there has to be communication between, the different committees, which would then, mean that each of these committees need to have somebody who's the committee chair.
Tom,
The
I'd
committee,
work on promotion if somebody would do social media, because I don't do social media.
okay. So, okay, Shirley, I'm assuming nobody's going to raise their hand and say, no, I want to do it. So Shirley is a chairwoman for promotions. And I certainly, between myself, Sonia, and I'm assuming Garrett as well, we can all support that social media side of that. No problem.
Sponsors may be another branch in itself.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be where the work would be. I'm going to just put person. I always get to decide this. Do we have that was a really quick raise of a hand there, Shirley. Thank you. Anybody have any raising of hands for the festival or the parade?
I wanted to comment, when we're talking about food vendors, because the discussion was that we want to support the restaurants downtown. So my thinking would be that we need a committee or one or two persons that would contact the existing restaurants in Guadalupe to see if they would be willing to set up, outside their whatever of some kind of food vendor. Because if that's not the case, if we don't get enough takers, then we're going to have to search for other food vendors, and that gets more complicated, and that's where you have to deal with the health department, and it's just it'd be a lot easier. We could have at least half a dozen restaurants, or or maybe just 5 to say, okay, we're going to be open. We're going to serve outside. We're going to have a booth wherever we decide we're going to have food booths. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes,
I do.
Okay.
I think the festival committee needs to in their work, where is it going to be? Who's going to do booths? And even the promotion side of this is for the promotional side to contact the restaurant and say, this is your opportunity to put out a booth here as well. So this is where it, like Alan says, these things kind of go between committees. There's parts of it that belong in multiple places. So I agree. I think we should be supporting the local businesses. Sorry, Alan, go ahead.
One thing you're going to have to determine if there is going to be a fee for the application, because there's no point in talking to the people if you don't have that information.
Yeah, for me, I probably, as a resident of Guadalupe and with CEC, I'll definitely be involved within the committees, probably just giving opinions or for the outreach. I think, we'll be very interested in just spreading the word on this event. I don't think I'll be able to co-chair any, but you can count on me for the festival and the promotion side, that I will, on my own time and CEC time, help you out.
Thank you.
And I think, and I definitely think reaching to the local businesses, I think they'll be very interested. Or at least I'd like to learn on how we could make it interesting.
Mhm.
And I think the vendors need to know that we are going to promote their business, because that'll be an incentive for them to to join us or to go out there and have a booth and eh, I the reason that I'm really saying that we need to encourage them is because uh, they already have a permit. The they're already certified by the
Yes.
health department. And then the other, if it's gonna be that we're gonna bring other ones, it's gonna have to be other restaurants from the Santa Maria or other, because if we have private private or nonprofit entities that want to serve, there's where the health department has to come in, and it's a hassle. It's a real hassle. So I'm trying to avoid that. That's why I'm saying let's try to get the restaurant operators to pitch in and do some work and sell stuff. Thank you.
I think you're quite right, Jose, and I think it should be limited to, say, the 5 or so that are active now, and just we're promoting Guadalupe. We're not promoting Santa Maria or Orchid, so it should be our local restaurants.
The other option is to, if we decide we don't have enough takers in terms of the local restaurants, there are food trucks that we could, come in and do that, and they're already certified by the health department. So that's a plus in that respect.
Jose, I don't think the city has acted on the food truck ordinance. That might be a holdup.
That's a thought. I hadn't thought about that.
Charlie, do you know anything about it?
Shirley's right. They haven't actually acted on that. They're in the planning stages. We have the planning director actually going to be submitting information guidelines with respect to all that within the next 1 or 2 council meetings. I think, though, on a day, we can give them like a day's permit through recreation to be able to operate a food truck in the downtown parking area, as an example, the Veterans Memorial area. I think there's a way to get around the full ordinance. It's the ordinance that the city's looking at is having somebody park a particular area on a regular basis as opposed to a one-time event. So I think that's a doable thing. And I think Jose's right. I'd really love to have the downtown merchants really get involved here. And if not, then we can bring in other entities to supplement whatever they can't furnish.
And there are places, there are like the bakery over that does sandwiches over on Main Street. There's no reason why we can't encourage them too.
And I think running that through the GBA probably be a really good idea. I think they have access to all the local merchants, and really drumming up interest along that line would be a great idea.
Not sure how many are members.
Very few of the restaurants.
This would be a good reason for them to generate interest in membership by approaching these different businesses and whatnot. Almost a recruitment at the same time for them.
Yeah, I would imagine that one of the booths will be GBA wanting to get the word out. So do we have anybody who's interested, or do you want to nominate somebody who's not here today so they can't argue it? Do you have anyone here on the festival side or the parade side? Somebody wants to chair the parade?
Well, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, you're on. I'm not gonna wait for you to think about that one.
I've already thought of it. So
Jose?
yeah.
Along that line, since we're talking about the parade, one of the ideas that we discussed the last meeting was the 5K run. I actually met with Terry Bauer, one of the teachers, a cross-country coach over at Mackenzie this week, and he came up with a different idea that I think would solve a lot of our issues in terms of having an event like that, and that's to establish what he referred to as a Guadalupe mile, to run down Guadalupe Street from the north end south, basically, and the route would just be 1 mile. Since we're already going to be putting in a permit, in this case, I guess Jose, through the Comité for Caltrans, we would just basically pony up with the event prior to the parade to run this event. And it would take maybe half an hour to an hour.
Oh,
So
I'm
if we're going to start at 2 o'clock.
Can I call you in a little bit? Thank you.
If we're going to start at 2 o'clock, maybe running the running event like 11 o'clock and whatnot prior to the whole thing, it would work out really well, I think.
It could be, yeah, I mean, sounds fun. You should talk to Jose. He's the chairperson for that committee.
Yes. So I'm almost volunteering to coordinate with Jose with respect to that. And I'm going to throw Terry Bauer in there also, since he's got a lot of interesting ideas with respect to that, from an expertise of running marathons and 5Ks and everything. So Terry and I will be part of that, hopefully, that committee. I'd like to see something like this done on a yearly basis, whether it be, when we celebrate any of the events here in Guadalupe, such as the Cinco de Mayo or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. We need a festival chairperson.
How about you, Tom?
The only problem is I really do think that we are now in a place where these smaller meetings, these committee meetings should be done in person. You should be walking around where you think the route should be and checking it out and doing stuff like that. And I don't think I'm in town enough to chair it. If we were doing it remotely, I'd be doing it. But I think this has to be done in town. And I would be happy. I've done multiple festivals before in my time. I'd be happy to help out on the festival side. But I just don't see it being something I could do as the chair.
You're quite correct. It belongs to us here to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this, I would love to do it. I would love to do it.
Sure.
You're choking on
you. Alma probably knows that I can't. I can't. But
you almost sound like you're choking on your words.
I know.
Because he really wants to do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I really do want to do it, but to their point, Tom, if you were to do it, I'd be happy to support you. And I live in town, so it would be very easy for me to walk the 5 feet to Route 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm happy to help a lot. I just can't commit.
I can help out too. I wouldn't know how to do anything. I've never done anything like that before, but I'm more than willing to help out.
Same here. I'm willing to help. I am going to be out for some time, actually, for about 3 weeks. So I might not be available all the time to be in person, but I will definitely help with that festival.
I'm going to latch on to Alma because no hablo español. So if we go to talk to some of the restaurants, I probably need some backup there.
Sure.
Okay, Alma?
Okay. Okay. So this is for the festival chairperson?
Yes, festival
No.
chairperson.
If,
No, for the promotion.
Oh, the promotion. Okay, gotcha.
Well,
Gotcha. Oh,
I
you're
don't,
talking about
yeah, I think you'd be okay. I don't think, Shirley, you're going to have a great deal of problems finding somebody in Guadalupe that could help you talk to the Spanish-speaking restaurants. I think there's loads
That's where
of
Sonia would come
resources.
into play.
Tom,
Yeah.
feel free to put me down for the festival. And then if anybody can help me, that would be greatly appreciated.
I'll
You're
join
going to be the chairperson?
Sure.
Not a girl, Lily.
if
Right.
Liliana wants, I'm like happy to help. I do have some experience in this field and
Yeah,
totally
same.
willing to, work with
Yeah.
you and help out and, just design and develop and all that, get everything going.
Perfect. Thank you.
And, my availability is, I'd be more than willing to help in all of these items as well. Where there's a need, I can jump in. But I think Shirley's right, it's a local.
Tom, you were talking of in-person meetings. Where would these be?
That would be the next question.
Liliana just
Charlie,
volunteered to be the chairperson.
Charlie?
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Todd
Charlie.
just walked into the office and he was disturbing me.
We're thinking about if we now have chairpersons, is there a place where these committees can meet on a regular basis?
Yeah, we have the city council chambers that's always available. There's also the senior citizens building that would be available, but more so the city council chambers. And it's used during the day, but for the most part in the evening, apart from the city council meetings and rec meetings, it's available.
And then the senior centers has some availability?
Yeah, and that would be usually in the evening also.
Okay. So, sounds good.
Do we go
I
through
can-
Charlie? Do we go
Excuse
through
me?
Charlie to schedule them?
Yeah, all it would require is for somebody to contact me and tell me when they want to meet. And then I'll book it as part of our normal scheduling here that goes on in the city, which I'm responsible for.
Hey,
Is that your
Tom.
number that's on the screen?
On the tree,
On the screen.
Is that your number?
I don't see
1340?
a number on my. I don't see the number you're talking about.
I can
There's
give
a-
you his number.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now. The phone number for the office is area code 805, and it's 356-3894.
Okay.
What I would suggest I can
And Shirley,
do.
I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to give you my personal cell phone, and that's area code 805.
This is being recorded.
264-1306. I'm okay with that.
Sorry, I missed the sender part after 805.
264-1306.
Got it.
What I will do is we do have an email list of people that have been involved or sent emails from meeting number 1 to this one, meeting number 3. I can go ahead and send an email out. What I'll do is wrap up what we've just said and point out the different groups, the different committees, and give in that email the contact information for the 3 chairpersons for people to sign up for joining those committees. Does that make sense as a way to do this?
Yes.
Sounds like a
Yes.
great idea. Yeah.
I think I have everybody. Basically, what I will give is a email and a phone number, and let people know to join, to contact the chairperson if they want to be involved in that particular committee. I think that should get us what we need.
Sounds good.
Um,
I had a quick question, Tom.
Yeah.
At the last meeting, and kind of this meeting, we kind of mentioned about having open streets so that our constituents can visit the restaurants and support our businesses. and I like the concept where they said maybe have a jogathon. I know previously we spoke about bicycling as well. Having those streets open either before the parade or after the parade to allow community members to walk up and ride their bicycles in the streets. So I was wondering, what was the hours for this permit?
I don't know. We haven't actually gotten down that road yet, Christina. I think the parade committee needs to make that decision on what the route is and how long. But
I do want to add on that note that I remember when we were working with the county transportation department, they had said
Clovia.
if there was a bike route that they could also donate. I think it was 12,000, Jose.
12,000.
I believe so. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't recall that, but
I do recall was around that grant money, around that money,
But if
around
we-
that amount.
oh yeah, for the coordinator. Was it
Well,
for the
that's-
coordinator?
coordinator.
No?
Well, it would go towards the festival. If we were not paying a coordinator, then it would go towards the festival.
Okay, all right.
So
Yeah, now I remember.
If everybody's open to it, I can check on that. If that would, if we wanted to,
Yeah,
bring
that'd be
traffic
fun.
solutions and
Excellent.
see if they would come with that money still as well, to implement a bike route and do that as part of the festival.
That would be fun. They could, you could, I know that in some festivals I've seen, they've had what they call bike concierge, where people can
Yes.
park their bike
Yes.
and they're secured.
Mhm.
So there might be an organization that would do that, securing the bikes for people so that people are encouraged to ride the festival and the parade.
Yes. That is part of it too. They do that.
Yeah.
There is a young man that would help us out if he's in charge of the that bicycle program in Santa Maria.
Ken,
Yeah, he's still around.
He's still around. He would be good to help out.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He would be excited by it, I think.
Christina, you might consider getting the children involved by decorating their bikes.
I think during the parade last year, that's exactly what some kids and Alma did with their bicycles. They rode down their bikes and they promoted healthy living and had their bikes decorated.
That's cool.
I don't know
Okay.
I don't know if you heard my daughter in the background. She heard parade. She's like, I get do the schools get invited to perform? She's excited.
That's another part of this as well, isn't it? Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we need to address today. So if we're having individual committee meetings, do we want this Zoom meeting to continue? Maybe on the coordinating reporting back weekly? Or do we want to move that into in-person as well?
Let's do one more when Jose has been able to contact Caltrans, because if that doesn't work, we have to go to Plan B.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think
The other thing I would suggest is that maybe we threw in a calendar of events or a calendar of meeting times and whatnot. So everybody's on the same page as to when these different committees would meet and or the Zoom would happen.
Yeah, I would probably suggest, this is for my own time, suggest trying to maintain the Zoom meetings while we can. I definitely think that, Tom, you're right, that there are some things that we need to set separate time for to be in person or walk through it. But I think we should still kind of, the more Zoom meetings, the more meetings I can go. And I'm sure that there's other people that can go to multiple Zoom meetings that may not be able to go to multiple in-person ones.
Me too. That's me.
So let's keep this Thursday at 2 o'clock for next week and continued until we say we don't need it anymore. If the chairpersons have a particular date and time and place that they want to have their first meeting in person, If you give me that, I can also send that out in the group email. So contact person, if you have an idea in the next day, I could send the email out on Friday, tomorrow, saying these are the chairpersons and this is where when their first meeting is.
We're still, sorry, we're still
I
a
was-
little iffy until we make sure that we are going to have the parade, because then everything will go around that.
Right. That's exactly what my thought is too. And also to know, I mean, we're gonna have chair people, but we also probably want to know who is going to be part of these committees and what their availability might be.
Okay. So first step is contact the chair people.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Maybe we could send a poll, and then that'll just add like a Google sheet where it just says, hey, my name, like a form, my name, contact information, and then mass emails can be sent out to those, to that list.
Yeah, because they could click off. I could set it up so that there's 3 choices and they can choose all 3, you know, promotion, parade, and festival, or 1 or 2, or however many they want. And
Good.
then they get sent to that particular chairperson's group. They get the contact information from them.
Right.
That makes sense. We could do that. I'll still give the contact information for the chairpersons for questions, though.
Yes.
So it's an email that gives the contact people for questions, and an email that has a Google link to a survey questionnaire where they say who they are and which committees they're interested in.
And then Tom, as we have a committee meeting, a synopsis should be sent to you.
Oh, I see. Yes. And then I can pass it out to the larger. Yeah.
Coordinate it all together, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. I think that's all my agenda. Does anybody want to bring up anything else that I might have not thought about, or something different?
There's one thing that I would like to address, and that has to do with Shirley's suggestion earlier about the theme for the event. The more and more I think about it, diamonds from the rough, or diamonds in the rough, city diamond, something along the use of the diamond 75th anniversary is a great idea. I like doing something along that line.
Thanks, Charlie. I was gonna head it off with Guadalupe, a diamond in the rough.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Love-
think it's great. I think my brain has been spinning on this festival, just knowing how many people are interested in Guadalupe and have been looking for an opportunity to share what it's already doing. So
Mhm.
I'm already excited to just be emailing other people and telling them that this is happening and that we're looking for things like 5Ks and bike rides and, you know, resilience booths and food and local businesses. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that are very interested in showing that our community is very resilient.
And Los Amigos de Guadalupe has a pretty big interested parties list, including most of the businesses in Guadalupe. And I think most of the organizations as well. So when we get to the point of needing that, we can send out a blast email to say committees are going, the theme is this, the date is this, get ready, get your booth.
Yep.
You can do that. And that will probably get out big. And there's also, Los Amigos has 4 pages, Facebook pages in Guadalupe. And of course, we can spread the word through the Facebook pages as well. So I think we can do a lot of that.
I do have a question for Liliana. When is the next council meeting for the city?
So we have a special meeting coming up Tuesday for the cannabis ordinance, and then we have an actual city council meeting the week following that. So it'll be the 25th
25th?
Yes.
of this month. Yes.
Okay, because we will need a letter from the council to Caltrans outlining the parade and all that stuff. And so I can do a rough draft, but we need to get that going. So I'll be working on that with you so we can get that going.
Perfect. When would you like it by?
Well,
Tomorrow?
I know.
Well,
I was-
if you can take it to the 25th, Sonia and I can write the staff report, and Jose can just give us the draft letter when it's ready.
okay,
Um,
I can work on it, and then I'll shoot it past to Liliana, and then we'll go from there to finalize it.
Unless you haven't, Liliana, does that work for you?
Yes, that works. Whatever you need me to do.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because remember after Monday I'm gone, so I'll try to get that done. Okay,
Okay,
Sounds
got it.
good.
thanks.
Okay. I do think, though, we should assume, Shirley, that the parade is going forward.
Okay,
I don't think the parade committee should not start its work while we wait for Caltrans. Do you know what I mean? I think they have to continue because they've got a lot to decide and a lot of things to do. So I think we should assume they're going to get the permit,
all right.
and then we adjust. But I can't imagine there being a problem personally. Jose knows more than I do on the Caltrans permits, but I'm not
A lot
hearing
of
any
it-
worry about it.
A lot of it depends by past experience, going on past experience, how many projects they've got going, and so sometimes they're really packed with projects, road repairs or bridge repairs or whatever. So if they don't have a lot of projects, we should be able to get in there. But I have a couple of contact persons I can talk to there at Caltrans and
You
get
might-
more or less idea.
You might also want to have a word with Shannon because Caltrans actually has a significant number of projects in the area coming up, and they may actually want to do a booth.
You're right.
And let everybody know about what it is their projects are. The bridge is going to get done. 166 and Main is going to get done. Sorry, 166 and Guadalupe Street is going to get done. There's a lot of work they're doing in Guadalupe in the next 5 years. I bet you they'd want to put a booth up.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
That'd be great because they're also doing work around our area. So that would be
Yeah.
super, super helpful to have them on board.
Yeah. It might
They've
be a
got
way to
one-
get in.
They've got one big sign up almost to the cemetery already.
Okay.
My tax
Is
dollars
there-
at work.
Is there anyone that does graphic design for this? So that way, if we are to go to businesses, we can't share this? Or would that
There
go under promotions?
It goes under promotions, but I do have a few resources in Guadalupe through the Business Association that might be able to support that. My personal opinion, I'm not doing promotions, but I will help Shirley with it. My personal opinion is we should have an events brochure with a timeline, and we should get businesses to advertise and pay for advertisement in that brochure.
I was just going to ask you, what about funding?
My personal opinion is create a booklet of some sort that has all of the information on that's going to happen on that day, from the runs to the festival, who's going to be there, all the information you want about the schedule, who's going to be speaking, if there's going to be bands, who's playing, and you create that into one booklet, and then people will advertise.
There's also Canva. It's a free platform. You can't, it does have some, if you want like a better portion of it, that does a lot of really cool social media posts. It's all templates and super helpful to use.
Canva?
Canva.com. I use that a lot for even for work. So it helps.
It is really great. I'm new to it, and it's like PowerPoint, but it's not 30 years old. So like everything looks fresh and interesting. Like I said, I'm new to it, but I agree.
Sadly, I'm still in the PowerPoint, so I'll go have a look at it and see if I could pull myself into the Canva time frame. So that sounds good. I'll check that out myself. Anything else? Going once, going twice. Appreciate everybody being here. And same time next week. And in the meantime, I'll get that email out and I'll create the Google form.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I'll put this on YouTube, by the way, and I'll pass it out as well. Bye, Shirley.